out. We know you can play, and we can help that. But for majority of these players, especially the ones that play spring ball, they haven't played all season, and it's a reason.
Man.
So, and that's why I talk about the first point in building that championship culture is that recruitment. Because, okay, you didn't play for your high school, so why I want you to play for me? Because you're going to give me some money?
Exactly.
You don't fit what we trying to do. Now, if you can change that attitude, that base, it ain't about the money. You can pay me $1 and I can help you. Or
Exactly.
you can pay $1,500 or whatever our fee is, and I can really help you. But it ain't about the money. Like those coaches that just take the money, them the same ones that just worried about wins and losses.
Yeah.
And they're not the people that I want to work with.
Nah, me neither. Me neither. I tell people.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the show. This is Lunch and Learn with Coach Karvell Bailey. Go ahead and share this out right now. Go ahead and share this out, and definitely let me know where you're checking in from, right? Let me know what city and state you're watching from, what city and state you are learning from today, right? Today, and as always, I got my notes, what I'm gonna talk about. I'm speaking again directly to the parents. And so the other day, and I always have trolls, right? I love trolls, right? I had a troll on one of my posts, right? One of my ads. And they were, who I speak to, right? How the AAU system is fooling parents, right? Overall, club system is fooling parents. A lot of coaches are fooling parents, right? And athletes have to become a certain type of individual in order to even be the right recruit, in order to be recruited. And so the comment, and I'm looking at the screen right now, so comment was, parents don't recognize their kid is not a recruitable kid in the first place. So this doesn't fall on the AAU coaches, it falls on the parents. And so I made a post about this, but I wanted to come make a video because literally, right, this is what they think about you. This is what they think about you. And I know there's not going to be those people that want to hear it are going to tune in. They're going to share it. The ones that don't want to hear it, they're going to log off and, hey, say, man, this is phooey. But let's talk about some questions today, right? I always like to use the when, what, how, why, where when I break certain things down. But for a person to say that it's the parents' fault because your kid is not a recruitable kid, this is what they think about you, right? This is what they think about you. But did they tell you that before they took your money, right? Did they tell you that before they said that you need exposure? Did they tell you all of that? Did they say, no, we don't need your money? Your kid not welcome here, not good here, right? It's best you take your kids somewhere else. They ain't gonna tell you all that. They're gonna say, well, you need exposure and you should sign up here. We're gonna travel all over the place. But in the back of their mind, they know that your kid is not a recruitable kid. So my question to you, before I give you the question to start asking these coaches, if it's the high school coach, the AAU coach, the club team coach, right? No matter who it is, I want you to, the trainer, I want you to start asking these questions. But first, I got a question for you. The question I have for you is, what's the end game? What are you really looking to accomplish with your basketball player? What are you really looking to accomplish with your student athlete? Are you just looking to help them get exercise and be in the best condition as possible? Are you looking to help them with social skills, right? To be able to have those social skills? Or is the end goal you ultimately want to help them get a free education, right? Regardless of what you think about higher education, is the end goal to help them get a free education, or even is the end goal to help them play basketball on that next level, right? I talk to so many athletes, they say, oh, well, I want to go pro. Well, what's the step? Like, you're not even playing varsity. You're talking pro. So what are the steps that needs to be put in place to even get there? A lot of people don't have an end game, right? A lot of people don't have an end game, right? Coach Reynolds, right? A great coach here in the Chicagoland area, right? Me and Jay both in the Chicagoland area. Not only did we used to coach against one another, right? But he believed in me enough to send his son to me, right? Would have sent both his sons, but I was gone at that time. But as he said, right? A free education and a degree. I want to say, if I'm right, Jerry, all three of your kids, right? All three of them got a free education, right? Because they used a little orange basketball to help them get a free education. So what's the end goal? A lot of parents don't know the end goal, so they get used, right? I want to help y'all from stop getting used, because again, I was taken back to this comment, right? Troll or not, but to say parents don't recognize their kid as a not recruitable kid in the first place. That's really what they're thinking about, y'all. So here are the questions that I want you to start asking, right? The first thing, regardless if it's a coach or a trainer, when you approach someone new with your athlete, the first question that I want you to ask is, what type of evaluation are you doing? What type of evaluation are you doing for my kid? Because we know, right, you can get in the gym full of trainers. Gyms be packed full of trainers. Tell you, bring a ball, bring a water bottle, right, all of that. And they're all doing the same things. But what if your athlete don't need that particular thing? But it's just a cookie cutter report, right? Get them in, cash cow, let's get them in. It's nothing specific to them, what they need to work on. So the first question that you should ask, right? Listen, look at Jerry. My son is now making $80,000 a year as an engineer thanks to basketball. $80,000 a year thanks to basketball, right? And guess what? Jerry's son wasn't the right. Ooh, he wasn't that. He wasn't that, but he got it done. And hell, when he played for me his freshman year in college, which we know is a transition, and I only had 2 freshmen on my team. Understand that. I only had 2 freshmen on my basketball team the year that Jay played for me. I only had 2 freshmen. He was one. But he got the job done in a totally different way, and I understood what type of player he was, as also what type of person he was. And then I was able to fit him into our system, and we won 20 games that year, right? But to be able to fit him into the system to where his strengths was celebrated, and he was also able to use his strengths, right? The following year, right, when I left, and they actually, did well as well, but he's making $80,000 a year. Use the basketball. Don't let the basketball use you or your athlete, right? Let me just say that. What type of evaluation are you going to give my child? That's the first question that you should ask. What type of evaluation? Is it written? I remember when when I was coaching in high school, back when Jerry and I used to coach against one another, I would give my team a test, right? I would give my team a test. Jerry said, yeah, right? So I ain't making none of this up. Didn't know Jerry was going to be on, right? Jerry always, checks in because even as a basketball coach, right? Even as a basketball coach, Jerry has always been coachable, right? A lot of basketball coaches that are with your athletes, they aren't coachable. So how can they expect for the athlete to be coachable if they aren't coachable? Meaning they aren't doing anything to continue to grow themselves in their mind to be able to help your athlete better. If they not learning, at some point, they're going to reach a ceiling, correct? If your coach, if the coach of your child don't have a coach, you need to find another coach. And I always say that all the time. If they don't have a coach that they're learning from, you probably need to find another coach. But the first question I want you to ask, what type of evaluation are you doing for my kid? So that you can see what their strengths are, what their limitations are. That's the first question, right? And y'all can type it in the chat, right? Question number one, right? What type of evaluation, right? But make sure that you're taking notes and make sure that you share this out, because it's going to be amazing information, not only for you, but it's going to also be amazing information for those people that you care about that you can also share it with. But then question number two, I want you to really ask, because again, this is going from the gentleman saying it's the parents' fault because your kid was not a recruitable kid, no way. So don't blame the AAU system. Don't blame the club system. Hell, don't even blame the high school coach. Your kid wasn't recruitable. So that's why I want to come up with these questions. What type of evaluation are you going to do for my kid? That's one. The second one is, why can my kid play on this level? Or why isn't my kid able to play on this level? Right? You want to know. Well, why can my kid play on this level? Okay, you say that we need exposure. Well, why can my kid play on this level? Tell me, right? But they can't tell you why your kid can play on that level if they haven't done an evaluation. Does that make sense? Right? Why can my kid play on this level? Or why isn't my kid able to play on this level? Now, parents, you got to be, right? You ask that question, you got to be ready for that comment. Because the coach may just say, hey, your kid just ain't good enough. And you got to be able to deal with that. You got to be able to deal with that if you ask that question. But you'll never get the answer if you don't ask that question. Can my kid play on this? Like, why do you think my kid can play on this level? Right? Or why do you think my kid is not able to play on this level? Right? And so that's question number two, right? Another question that I want you to ask is, where do they possibly have a future in this thing? Because again, the dark side of the game that a lot of parents don't understand until it's too late is this thing here, right? This guy said that was trolling me, it's the parents' fault because your kid is not recruitable anyway. Well, that's why you ask it, what type of evaluation are you doing? Why can my kid play on this level? Or why aren't they able to play on this level that you think, right? Because it's just their opinion. And then where do they have a future? So if they can't play on this level, where do they have a future? Right? The whole reclassifying thing, that's a whole nother class. That's a whole nother class. But that's why so many people are reclassifying, because they don't believe, or somebody has told them that their kid can't play on a certain level. And really they tell them their kid can't play on the level of the age in which they are. Right? I see, my guy Vic on, got my guy Reg, another coach, Jerry, James, right? Like when we grew up, we wanted to play with the tougher competition. We didn't want to play against like the B team. We like reclassifying, but that's a whole nother class. But where do they have a future? Where do they have a future? Do you think they have a future beyond this AAU or this club team? Do you believe that they have a future beyond freshman, sophomore year, varsity? Do you believe they have a future beyond? Do you believe that? And now let's see what the coach is telling you. Since parents are believing when coaches say they need exposure, or when parents are believing that, it's your fault because now that your kid is done with school and they aren't recruited or don't have a scholarship offer, now they blame you and say, well, your kid wasn't recruitable in the first place. But they didn't tell you, ooh, don't pay me this money for this team. They ain't say that. Right? And my passion is because I'm tired of parents like you all getting mistreated. I'm tired of parents like you all getting used, taken advantage of. I'm tired of athletes really believing in their mind and in their body that I'm not good enough. We got enough stuff going on. We got enough going on. Right? But certain people are going to understand it. Certain people not. So as you asking that question, right, where do they have a future? Now, I want you to ask them, well, how can you help my child? How can you help my child? Because again, you are paying your money for your child. So how can you help my child? But how can that coach really tell you how they can help your child if they haven't done an evaluation first? Evaluation, assessment, whatever it is. How can they help if they haven't done an evaluation? Right? And then the last question, the last question is I want you to ask them, who have you helped become successful similar to my athlete? See, it's easy for you to get the best player in the school, the best player in the neighborhood, or even to go to other neighborhoods and grab players, right? The whole recruitment thing, right? So they say that your kid not recruited, but how did they get your kid? Probably word of mouth. Hey, come play for this team or something. And they, hey, you need to get this exposure. But who have you helped, right? So after you help, how can you help my kid? Now, give me some social proof. Who have you helped that's similar to my kid? And don't tell me about the superstar unless my kid is a superstar. But if you ain't done an evaluation or tell me what level my kid can play on or tell me where do you think they have a future, you really can't even ask those other questions. That's why I gave them to you in the order in which I gave them to you, to start asking these questions, right? It's time to start arresting, right? Not figuratively, but it's time that we start holding people accountable. But first, you got to hold yourself accountable. And you got to be able to ask questions. You got to be able to ask the tough questions. And certain people are going, you know, you'll really find out who the real ones are. You'll really find out who the real ones are. If they can answer all those questions as it pertains to you and your child, or if they start telling you, well, and oh, I ain't got no time, come back, talk to me. Right? I'm the spook that's sat by the door. I've been coaching for 28 years. I've been in the head college chair at 2 different schools. I'm the spook that's sat by the door. I'm the one that's going to tell you what everybody else ain't going to tell you because I've been there. That's why I make so many people upset that are the stick-up people, so to speak. The people that be like, it's the parents don't recognize that their kid is a non-recruitable kid, right? Because now all of that, and the kid, so my question, what is a recruitable kid? What's a recruitable kid? But if they aren't recruitable, and so here's the thing that I said back to him, right? Can you help me with a few things? What exactly does a non-recruitable kid look like? That's 1, right? 2, does the AAU or club program then deny the kid entry into the program? 3, do they tell the parent in the door that your kid ain't a recruitable kid? But more importantly, 4, do they look to help that non-recruitable athlete with their deficiencies or their limitations and enhance their strengths enough to become a recruitable athlete? I'm just saying. Share this with all the trolls today, because we're going to start holding them accountable. Because I'm tired of parents getting misused. I'm tired of parents getting abused because they just don't know. Right? Again, my guy Jerry, right? Great coach. I got my guy Reg Butler, right? Reg can answer all of these questions. Reggie can answer all of these questions because he's done it. He's done it. Jerry can answer all these questions because he's done it. Again, what type of evaluation will you do for my kid? 1. Why can they play on this level? Or why do you think they cannot play on this level? 2, 3, where do you see them having a future at? Right? Jerry said his son is making $80,000 as an engineer. If I didn't think that Jerry's son could play, right, then I wouldn't have even gave Jerry's son a scholarship, one, right, so he can get a free education. But also, if I didn't think basketball was in it for him, I have to find out, okay, well, what's Justin's, right? What is he trying to do beyond basketball? Where does he want basketball to take him? And basketball took him to get a free education to not make $80,000 a year as an engineer. Right? So can they play on this level, or do you see them playing beyond this level? Right? And then how can you help them? How can you help my kid? I help high school basketball players get recruited, even if they're not 5-star athletes, by being able to improve their confidence to unlock the greatness that they got inside of them. That's what I do every day, all day, even twice on Sundays. That's what I do. That's what I do. And I got testimonials all over the internet about people that I helped. So regardless what type of athlete you have, I've probably helped one just like yours. But at the end of the day, it starts here. It all starts with these 6 inches. It all starts here. But if they haven't done an evaluation, they can't help them improve like they need to improve to enhance their confidence, right? If you got them playing on a level that they can't play on, or they aren't able to play on, that's going to impede their confidence, right? If they can play on that level, and if they know they're able to play beyond that level, that then improves their confidence, right? If they don't have a future beyond junior college, high school, 4-year college, they don't have a future beyond that, then let's start, while we're doing the basketball, let's start working on other things. That again is improving the confidence, because they're not thinking, hey, it's the end all be all. And now if I don't get what I'm supposed to get, right? If Jerry's son wasn't confident from the basketball court and his abilities and his strengths, he probably wouldn't be able to make that $80,000 a year, what Jerry just said, because he would lack confidence in himself. How can you help my athlete, right? Parents, I'm gonna tell you this. If you got a coach and all they talking to you and your athlete about is basketball, I want you to do a sprint and run as far away in the opposite direction as possible. Because you can't just help my child by just teaching them basketball. There's no way. There's no way you can just help my child teaching them a sport, right? You can help them with life through this sport, but if all that you're talking to my kid about is this sport, you probably got a motive, right? And that motive is probably your success, not my kid's success, right? So how can you help my kid? And then finally, right, who have you helped like my kid? Show me some proof. Show me some social proof. Show me some testimonials. Show me some parents talking. Show me some athletes talking, right? So I'm gonna go, I got one of my former students on, Stefan, right? He dealt, right? Again, Steph played basketball, but not really, right? But Steph learned more about the game of basketball. Me and Steph to this day can get on and talk basketball on a whole different level, right? So he understood the game of basketball. He just didn't necessarily play for the school, and we got a lot of them, but he learned so much more about life and is a great dad, a great man at this point, right? It ain't just about sports. It's about what can this sport teach my kid in the process. But none of that is possible if you don't have evaluation, assessment, none of that first, right? So I want y'all to be able to take this back with you, right? And use it to be able to help you, right? And now if you want my help, right? If you want me and my team's help, right? We got our free training down, right? As along the ticker, right? This 15-minute free training is going to really, really tell you some things that a lot of coaches aren't going to tell you. And the reason why they aren't going to tell you is because a lot of times they can't give the answers before the test, if that makes sense, right? Again, I'm the spook that sat by the door. I'm telling everything because I want you and your athlete to have the best success possible, right? So let's read some of these comments. You must coach the way your players play. Every player play different. Every system does not work for every player. Coaches must understand that. Jerry, you're absolutely right, man. Right? Every system is not for every kid. That's my point, Jay. So your kid has to be the right recruit for the right program. So many players are going to the wrong programs because they were never the right recruit for that program, right? James Crawford say, I agree, right? I say this all the time. Say this all the time. They need a skill camp to evaluate their children. You know what? And that's good, James. Certain coaches, and I've sat amongst them, and I consider myself one. I don't have to come to every game. When I walk in a gym, it's a reason why I'm walking in the gym. And most times it's to support somebody. But I can evaluate a kid by looking at their stat line. I can evaluate a kid in warm-ups. I had, and I'm not going to mention the name, but somebody sent me a video of their kid. And then I watched the highlight. That's all the good things. But then I found something on YouTube of the team playing. And I was able to evaluate the kid in 2 minutes. Not the highlight, because the highlight make everything look good. But what's stopping you from getting where you need to go? Because all that look good, but what's stopping you getting where you need to go? So I went and did my research and I figured that out, right? So certain players can really, really evaluate talent at a high level in a number of ways. If I look at a stat line and I see that a kid was, say, 6 for 11 from the field, 0 for 2 from the 3, and 0 for 1 from the free throw line, like I know they're not as aggressive as they should be because you get to the free throw line one time out of 12 shots. So let's figure out what's causing you, right, the lack of confidence to where you feel like you got to sit outside and stroke that thing and you can't attack the defense to then create a whole lot more stuff. Right, man, this game is chess. And it's real simple. You know, got to understand. But yeah, the skill camp, you know, you got to have some type of evaluation, right? Talk that talk, right? Larry laughs. He must be one of those guys. They want your money. It's big business, right? They would take your money regardless, right? Like they ain't gonna tell you, oh, your kid can't play or your kid not recruitable. Don't pay us no money, right? Got to find a coach with an athlete as a child, or got to find a coach with the athlete as a child, or had a child who was an athlete. That's certainly a must. On slippery slope is daddy ball. Yep, definitely it is, right? But not all dad coaches entertain that, right? I mean, I know some, right? So I grew up in the era of Allen Houston, right? And even like John Thompson. JT3 played for Princeton, but John Thompson's other son played for him at Georgetown, right? Allen Houston. He played for his daddy, right? A lot of parents, right? A lot of dads don't do the daddy ball. But a lot of parents that I know, they're actually harder on their kid because they feel like if they're harder on their kid, it's going to make everybody else get in line, right? And that's a slippery slope because dads have to be dads. But then when they, you know, they don't know how to balance dad and coach, right? So, and I'm not going to get into it, but I had a couple parents that coached their kid, and they were like, Bailey, man, I need some help because on the way home, I want to be daddy, but I'm still coach. Does that make sense, right? And the long ride home destroys confidence more than anything. And so it's a lot of things that goes into, you know, so the coach already don't believe in your kid. And so maybe they're not playing your kid a certain way. You didn't ask the question that you should ask. Now the long ride home is treacherous because you as a parent didn't ask those questions, right? I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying, let's start asking questions, right? That's my man there, Chris Mays, right? And Chris has seen it from a basketball player, now a top official, right? Teach, coach. Yep, teach, Karvell. There you go. Big facts. How can we get these kids off the ground and achieve? We have elementary girls playing junior high, preparing for varsity position by leadership and example. We might lose a game, but never a battle, right? They cut out of our program because of assessments are in demand. Listen, that's absolute. Lewis, you in New Mexico, right? You're on the West Coast, right? Is that correct? Rich, what up? I think you're on the West Coast, Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. Or you have high school coaches recruit a kid to play for them who she knows doesn't really fit. Yep, but I'm keeping him away from that's a whole nother class, Chris. That's a whole right. The kid now has his or her recruiting become not what it should be, right? It's a lot of coaches out here. They'd rather have your kid than to let somebody else have them and have no intentions of playing your kid. That's a whole nother class, right? I'm gonna come back later on this week and I'm gonna teach that, Chris, specifically, right? And I know some of them say, hey, I'd rather get them than have my competitor get them. And that's dangerous, right? So, again, one, if you already have a trainer, right? If you're satisfied with your trainer, and not all trainers are bad, right? Not all coaches are bad. Not all AAU teams are bad. But it's enough of them that makes the whole look bad, right? So, but if you're content with who you're already with, but your child hasn't had the right assessment, the right evaluation, right? Send me an inbox, right? And I have a 15-question assessment, right? There is a fee attached, but I have a 15-question assessment evaluation that's going to help them get some clarity, right? It'll help them get clarity, but then they're on their own, right? But now you can schedule an appointment with me, if you would like our help to be part of our Hoops Master University program, right? And then now we can take that information and help them build on a plan, right? To put them in the best position to be most successful as possible. All right. So you can just inbox me or definitely go check out my free case study video at BeTheRightRecruit.com, right? BeTheRightRecruit.com. From that point, right, it's going to give you some great information. Again, the coach is not going to tell you, right? Recruiter's not going to tell you, as well as at that point, if you then want to work with us, you can apply to work with us by scheduling an appointment right then and there. If you just want the evaluation, then inbox me. I'll send you the payment link, as well as the after that, then we'll take care of the evaluation assessment. And then we can go from there. Listen, it's springtime now, right? Going into summer. Continue to be safe, continue to be mindful, right? And continue to be productive, right? Safe, mindful, and productive. That's for you and your athlete, right? I'm going to say this with the most respect possible. If you're losing right now, if you feel that though your kid is losing, they're not getting what they deserve and what that they have locked up inside of them, there's probably a confidence issue going on somewhere, right? And I'm the best one that can help them for it. Now, we don't work with everybody. We don't work with everybody, and it's not cheap to work with us because we don't have a cheap, right product, but we get the results, right? So, hey, this is Coach Karvell Bailey. I appreciate y'all checking in with me. I'm about to go teach this class and do what I do. Y'all be safe, right? Be easy, be mindful, and more importantly, be productive. Keep reaching for the top because it's crowded as hell at the bottom, all right? Y'all be good. Peace.
Yeah. Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.